Plaid Cymru's Rhun ap Iorwerth claimed Labour targeted the most vulnerable in the Chancellor's spring statement. A BBC Question Time guest slammed Rachel Reeves's suggestion that people will feel better off under Labour, as he fumed at her budget for hitting some of society's poorest. The Chancellor insisted at her spring statement last week that people across the UK would be on average £500 a year better off by the end of this Parliament compared to under the previous government. But Plaid Cymru's Rhun ap Iorwerth hit back at her suggestion following the start of what has been dubbed Awful April, when several bills have increased. Appearing on BBC's Question Time, he said, "Who does Rachel Reeves think she's kidding? Of course people won't be better off. I've had that water bill up 30% as well and I'll absorb that, but there are people that aren't going to be able to absorb that." But let's remember what we heard from Rachel Reeves only last week. Not only will people not feel £500 better off, but this Labour Chancellor chose to attack some of the most poor and most vulnerable people in our communities with a series of cuts to welfare. Ms Reeves announced nearly £5 billion in benefit cuts by the end of the decade to restore a narrow buffer of fiscal headroom, with £1 billion to be invested in employment support to help people back to work. The changes, which drew the ire of opposition politicians and charities, will hit 3 million families on incapacity benefits and see personal independence payments lowered for 800,000 claimants. Plaid Cymru's leader agreed that the nation's welfare bill needed to be smaller. On Thursday, Sir Keir Starmer acknowledged the cost of living crisis was ongoing and that people were feeling the pressure of rising household bills as the government insisted it was taking action to give workers more money in their pockets. The Prime Minister insisted the rising national living wage and the Bank of England's interest rate cuts were helping household finances despite the mounting costs.
Cuando tú no estás conmigo, cómo gritarle a los vientos que me perteneces, que te necesito, cómo explicar la alegría cuando tú estás a mi lado. Yo sé que no hay en el mundo un amor más grande como el que me has dado. Te amo, amor, te amo, por siempre 1000 veces te amo. Y aunque no creo merecerte, doy gracias al cielo de haberte encontrado. Te amo, amor, te amo, por siempre 1000 veces te amo. Que Dios bendiga tus ojos, tu cara bonita, tu amor, tus encantos.